Welcome back to Nigeria Finance Diary. Today we're going to be talking about five businesses that hardly fails, most especially if you currently live in Nigeria. These businesses are streamlined to Nigeria, but it can still be profitable in any country of the world. But today we're going to narrow it down to Nigeria. So we have five businesses that hardly fails, regardless of the economy, regardless of the whole macro events happening, be it inflation, high interest rates, and all. It doesn't affect this business. It's a business that is set to keep existing and it's always going to be profitable. I know you might be wondering now, what business is that doesn't fade away with time? Well, it's a business that people always need. One thing about going into a business, if demand meets supply, when you have the supply for a particular product and people are always in demand for it, it makes more sense. That is when your business becomes really profitable. The first business on the list is mobile food vending. So the thing is that most persons love convenient and tasty meals. Selling popular dishes like jollof rice or local snacks can attract a steady stream of customers, especially in Nigeria. Mobile food vending, regardless of what happens, the economy and all, whatever happens, people would always find something to eat. Worst case scenario, yes, somebody says, see, I beg, let me first eat. Let me just eat first. Oh, I know I'm going through a lot, but let me just eat first. So they must always find something to eat because you first have to survive in order to thrive. If you don't survive, how exactly are you going to thrive? So that's why it is one business that would not go out of fashion anytime soon because we need it to survive. We have to eat. As individuals, we have to eat. To stay alive, we have to eat. So it's a business that every day there is high possibility that you keep getting customers if you're positioned in strategic environments. Take for instance, if you're someone who works a 9 to 5 that is in an office environment, you notice that lady, that man, that restaurant close to your office, people are always going there to patronize them. There is no time you enter that restaurant you don't find people eating. Does that ring a bell? Now, the mobile food vending is a person that moves with food along the road. This time, the person moves with food along the road, meaning they don't have a station shop. Their shop is not like in a fixed spot. They keep moving from one place to another. Remember the ice cream sellers? You see the way they move? Now, that's an example of people who are into mobile food vending, but those ones are basically selling ice cream. So they sell it around. So that's what I'm talking about. Now, instead of ice cream and all, you're selling basic food. So the startup tips for this one, you can start small by preparing meals at home and delivering them to offices or schools. You have to utilize social media to also promote your offering. It all depends on you. You can utilize social media to promote whatever you're offering. Now, the next business that does not fade away with time is rental property business. Now, real estate investment offers steady monthly income through rent and potential property value appreciation over time. It's one thing to buy a property, it's another thing to develop it immediately. If you develop that property immediately, it simply means you will have people come in to rent it, and once they rent, they pay you. If you divide that amount by 12, most times you can survive with it for a whole year. It depends on your location and how much your rent costs. Whatever property you're renting out, how much you charge for that property. So they also provide tax benefits and the opportunity to leverage financing. Most times you realize that you are also provided with finances. Say you don't have the money, you see real estate companies. Sometimes these people go on to get facility from the bank, like they borrow, they try, most of them drive on loans, and they get this facility from the banks and they use it to invest in properties, which in turn makes so much profit for them because the profit margin between the cost of buying a property and the amount in which you use in selling that property is really making sense. The profit margin is really making sense because most times you might decide to leave that property for years. Sometimes you can decide to buy the property and resell later. It could be within the year, and before you know it, in a space of 8 months, 1 year to resell, the property has appreciated in value. The price you bought it before is not the same price as at when you'll be selling. The next one on the list is thrift business. I'm going to dwell on this a little. Now, thrift business is a thriving and profitable business in Nigeria, especially in urban centers like Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt. I'm not saying other areas even work there. It will work there, but I'm just saying these areas are more busy. You have population and all. So it's driven by economic factors, youth culture, and a growing demand for affordable fashion. The market offers significant opportunities for entrepreneurs. Now, before we go over to the advantages, let me tell you, I I as a person, I buy thrift wares. Most times I buy thrift wares. So I go to the market and I buy them. And I'm going to tell you this for a fact. It's a good business. It's not a business I've done before, but most times when I go to buy, I just get to the market and there is this, as much as people kick against impulse buying, when it comes to thrift, most of the thrift item I got are impulse buying. I didn't plan to buy them. I bought them because they were affordable at the time. I didn't plan to buy them because it was affordable. That's why I had to just get the thrift. Now you can imagine a business that people don't even buy from you based on their budget. They buy from you based on the item you have at hand, based on the what the clothes look like currently. That's what makes them buy from you. So you can imagine that scenario. That's the reason why people buy from you. Just one of the reasons. Now, if you look at the price point is it's really fair enough. Most of those thrift items you find, okay, let's use female clothing, say the chiffon tops and all. Some of them you can find them for as low as 1,000 naira, 500 naira and all. And imagine reselling them for a profit margin of like 50%, a profit margin of like 100%. It depends on your location. Now just think about it. You sell that repeatedly, say in a week you sell like 5 items, or in a week you do like 10 items. It depends on your ability to promote that particular business. You see how much your business is going to thrive. You see how much your business is going to move with time. Now, these things are not rocket science. Because they are easy to get into does not mean you just jump in. No, you have to do your own research, understand the cost implications, understand the advantage and disadvantage. Now let's look at the advantage. I mentioned high profit margin. I've already explained that. Then low startup cost. Now, the cost of starting up this business is not so expensive. Let me give you an example. I've been to a market before that I saw chiffon top going for 500 naira. I'm telling you, 500 naira. Now, the same chiffon top, if you were able to package it properly and iron it, my dear, the truth is that you will sell it for as high as 2,500. I've worn a thrifted fabric before to the office. Everybody was admiring it. Oh, I like your jacket. I like your jacket. I like your jacket. But that jacket, so many people thought it was like super expensive or something. It was just 1,000 naira. But when you see the jacket, it doesn't look like 1,000 naira jacket. It looks way expensive. One, color. So if you're going into thrift business, I know you might be wondering if I'm into thrift business. I'm not, but I have a lot of information about it. If you're going into thrift business, one thing you should note, fabric type. Your fabric type, you should go for chiffon fabrics and silk fabrics. You can focus on those two for the start, chiffon fabrics and silk fabric. Now, second emphasis, watch your color. It's not every color you buy because, oh, it's affordable. There are some colors that scream cheap. Everybody sees this and know this is cheap. Some colors scream cheap. I don't want to call their names, but some colors scream cheap. So be careful with colors. Go for colors that are really toned down. Toned down colors. Go for earthy colors. Go for nude. Go for white, black. Those kind of colors, colors that are toned down, not the very shouty colors, colors that are toned down. They make more sense. Without the disadvantage. Now, some persons may not want to buy thrift because they feel it's of low standard. It's going to make them look cheap and all. Now that's where packaging comes in. If you want to go into the business, that's where branding comes in. That's when packaging comes in. Now imagine you're trying to go into that business and you want to do it on a larger scale. Like you don't want people to start pricing you as if you're throwing clothes on the floor and they are picking. You know, that's popular bend down selects. You throw clothes on the floor and they're like, how much is this one? Oh, just 500, just 1,000, just 3,000. You know, all the stuff that happens in the market if you go to the public market and all. If you don't want that, you could focus on branding. So your price point increases. Then you could set up your shop. Your shop could be on TikTok. It could be, should I say Facebook? I'm not quite sure of Facebook, but TikTok could work. TikTok would work. Just focus on using videos to promote the outfit. You're going to get customers. TikTok ads are also affordable, TikTok adverts. So when you run these ads, you can also generate sales from them. The next one on the list, I had to dwell on this because I mean, students in school, you can just get into this and make some cool money for yourself. Laundry and dry cleaning business. Now, with many Nigerians living busy lives like myself, especially in urban areas, there's constant need for laundry service. At the time I'm recording this video, I went to my laundry. I went to the laundry shop where I usually wash my clothes, most especially when I'm super busy. That's why I wash my clothes, only to find out that they were closed. If you need to see how disappointed I was. Like, what kind of rubbish is this? I called the number, it wasn't connecting. Before you say, oh, why didn't you call before you go into the shop? I called the number, it wasn't connecting. And then I got there and they didn't open. And I was banking on them because it was the weekend. I wanted to give them some clothes that I can use the following week, not this week, because I already have this week sorted. The following week, but you're not available. Now imagine how many people would have gone to that same place and they're not available. Now, before you say it's too expensive to start, you can begin with basic equipment like a washing machine and iron. If you can't afford a washing machine, get an iron first, then get your ironing board. You can use your hand to wash for a start. With time, you make profit and get a washing machine. As your client base grows, consider expanding your services. It requires minimal staff and can often be operated passively. Isn't that wonderful? The next one on the list is renting of construction equipment. Now, this is a lucrative business, and I can say that with my full chest because I work with a construction company presently. Now, looking at the country's expanding infrastructure projects and the high costs associated with purchasing heavy machineries, most of those construction companies would prefer to lease this equipment, rent them from other people than buy this equipment because these equipments are super expensive. I work with construction, and most of the equipment we use on the site, they are rented. Most of them, we don't own them because you use them when you have projects. You don't have to own them permanently, except it's a serious equipment that I just need. I just can't do without it. I can bank on other people. Then you get the equipment. But most of the time, these equipments are rented. Heavy equipment like cranes and excavators command substantial daily fees. Imagine you having this machinery. You just keep it for this purpose for people that want to rent it out. Some of them in a day, renting them, you have to pay over 200K to rent them. Now imagine getting to rent it for 10 days. Do the maths yourself. Imagine having to rent it for 10 days. Do the maths yourself. If work is going on consistently and they need that equipment, why would they not rent it for 10 days? Of course they will. So the next one is the lower overhead cost for smaller tools. Example, ladders. Let's use the one that we're familiar with now, ladders. As simple as you think a ladder is, there was a time I heard some persons were renting ladder for like 40,000 naira. I was like, ladder? They said yes. Imagine renting 5 times in a week. I know you may not have thought about it, but just picture it. Imagine renting that amount. It's going to be something really juicy. You just make cool money. You first of all think of ways to make money to get these items. Now, once you're able to have a steady cash flow where you can save up and get these items, you look out for people who are in need, demand and supply. Look out for people who demand your services, then you supply. If you don't even have money, you can look out for people that have this equipment. Oh, I know somebody that has ladder. Just like that. You meet someone like, I'm looking for where to rent ladder. Just hold on, give me a second. You know somebody that have ladder, you quickly say, I'm coming, just give me 5 minutes. You go somewhere, make a call. How you doing? Is your ladder available? And all that. And the person says yes. How much do you rent your ladder? They give you the price. You add your own profit margin and you rent it. You mustn't own everything. You mustn't own the equipment. It's a generation of leveraging. You mustn't own the equipment. And I hope you've learned one or two things because these are some businesses that will continue to thrive because they are needed. They will continue to thrive. So the thing is that if you're looking to scale up your personal finance through investing, or you just want to know all it takes to stand firm in personal finances, then we'll just head over to the last slide right now. You want to make smarter choices with your finances. You're looking for how to grow the money you currently have. You're looking for how to boost your cash flow, make it steady. You want to get rid of this whole rat race of jumping about and everything, and you're like, I don't even know where this money is going to. I literally struggle from month to month, year to year. I'm always in debt and everything. Then join the finance focused program. If you know the details about this program, the link is in the comments. Click on it and join the finance focused program. That's exactly where we talk about these things in depth. We also talk about funding sources. There are a lot of things we discuss in that program. So simply join the program and you will be glad you did. Don't forget, this is Niger Finance Diary. If you stay to the end, you should smash the subscribe button if you're not subscribed. That's the favor you're just going to do for me by watching this video. Please smash that subscribe button. I'll see you in my next video. Don't forget, Niger Finance Diary.